Graham Parsons may not have lived long, but in just a few short years, he revolutionized American music. His time with the Byrds was brief, but seismic. With a vision that fused honky-tonk heartbreak, gospel harmonies, and rock and roll rebellion, Parsons helped steer one of the 1960s most iconic bands into uncharted territory, pioneering a sound that would influence generations of artists and reshape the very idea of genre. Born Ingram Cecil Connor Thurs on November 5, 1946, in Winter Haven, Florida, Parsons grew up in the Deep South, surrounded by the sounds of country, gospel, and early rock and roll. Tragedy was a constant companion. His father died by suicide, his mother battled alcoholism, but music offered escape, identity, and salvation. Though he inherited a fortune from his stepfather's citrus business, Graham rejected the trappings of wealth. He was drawn instead to storytelling, soul, and the aching beauty of country music. After a short stint at Harvard, Parsons dropped out to pursue music full-time. His first major band, the International Submarine Band, married Bakersfield twang with British invasion cool, a hybrid sound that caught the attention of Chris Hillman and Roger McGuinn of the Byrds. In 1968, at a moment when the Byrds were seeking creative renewal, Parsons became the catalyst for one of their most daring transformations. He joined the band in early 1968 and quickly became a driving force behind what would become Sweetheart of the Rodeo. Though his name didn't always appear prominently in the credits, his influence was undeniable. Parsons insisted they record in Nashville, embrace their hillbilly soul, and dig deep into the roots of American music. The result was one of the most influential albums in rock history. Released in August 1968, Sweetheart of the Rodeo was a bold detour from the Bard's jangly folk rock past. It was pedal steel, broken hearts, and Southern Gothic twang. Country music viewed through the kaleidoscope of Laurel Canyon and 1960s counterculture. Songs like Hickory Wind and You're Still on My Mind carried the emotional weight of Hank Williams, but with a modern, almost psychedelic ache. Parsons wasn't bridging genres, he was melting them down into something new. Though the album didn't top charts, its long-term impact was seismic. It laid the foundation for Americana, alt-country, and everything from Wilco to Lucinda Williams to Sturgill Simpson. Yet, true to his restless spirit, Parsons didn't stick around. He left the Byrds the same year, refusing to tour South Africa under apartheid, a decision driven by both moral conviction and creative friction. Parsons wasn't finished making history. He co-founded the Flying Burrito Brothers with Chris Hillman, further crystallizing his concept of cosmic American music. Their debut, The Gilded Palace of Sin, became a cult classic, glittering with rhinestone suits and existential heartache. It was country music through a cracked lens, raw, experimental, and defiantly beautiful. In the early 70s, Parsons began a solo career and formed a now iconic creative partnership with Emmylou Harris. Albums like GP and Grievous Angel showcased his most vulnerable songwriting, full of dusty ballads and heavenly harmonies. His voice, fragile, yearning, and real, made every lyric feel lived in, but the demons were never far behind. Parsons battled addiction throughout his life, and on September 19, 1973, he died of a drug overdose in Joshua Tree, California, at the age of just 26. His death was as mythic as his music. In a bizarre and infamous episode, his friend Phil Kaufman stole his body and attempted to cremate it in the desert, fulfilling a drunken pact the two had made. The story only added to Parsons' growing legend, but behind the tabloid headlines, it's the music that continues to echo. Graham Parsons' influence on the Byrds was a spark that ignited a genre. Sweetheart of the Rodeo wasn't just a one-off experiment. It was a mission statement that genres were meant to collide, that country and rock weren't enemies, and that truth could live in both heartbreak and harmony. In just a few short years, Parsons created a blueprint for modern American roots music. Though he never found commercial success in his lifetime, today he is remembered as a pioneer, a visionary, and a ghost who still haunts the edges of every song that dares to blend twang with truth. Graham Parsons didn't just play country rock. He invented it, and in doing so, gave voice to something eternal.